Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype online. Each one of you is welcomed to this live streaming. In Trinidad, 175 years ago, on this day, 30th of May, first set of indentured laborers were brought into work to resurrect the ailing economy of Trinidad, to work in the sugar belt. First set of East Indian immigrants were brought. It is a commemorative day in Trinidad. But because of the present situation, the celebrations are not taking place. Kundalini and Shaktipat. What is Kundalini? It is a passage, a channel. Channel, it is like, in modern terminology, we can say it is a metro station that takes you from one destination to the other. On the way, there are many stations. Once you ride the metro or subway of Kundalini, you cannot hop out until you reach the destination. Basically, there are two ways. One is the way of hammering, the center where this energy is dissipated, which is your sex center. Normally, energy remains frozen in each and every individual like ice. The moment you take it out of the freezer, and it starts melting, it creates a mess around. It will flow towards the slope. This is why this energy moves naturally downwards towards the lower centers. Whenever energy is dissipated, whenever energy is released, it goes into the negative things. That is natural. But for it to work, to rise in a creative way, you have to work. You have to channel it into creative sessions. Somebody's microphone on Skype is on. I think it is Abdul Ghani, please. So when this energy begins to channel in the creative channels, it takes an effort. So the two ways are, first you have to hammer the energy from the source where it is dissipated. So this is done by hammering the solar plexus. This is known as chaotic breathing, or you can create the sound of who. The moment you create consciously the sound of who, your solar plexus is hammered. And remember, this is the center through which you are connected in your mother's womb for nourishment, and meditatively you connect yourself to the cosmic womb. The other is the energy reaches up to the heart center. Beyond that, through this method, it does not reach. Then you have to ask a question, who am I? When the energy has begun to rise and the movement is free, then you need to ask a question, who am I? This process is like a grace falling on you, like the water that was in the pot and put on the stove, ice melts, it becomes water, water starts steaming, it becomes vapors, the water vapors accumulate like the dewdrops on the cover of the pot, and if the cover is removed, all the water evaporates and disappears in an unknown atmosphere. The process of dissolving in the unknown atmosphere is the awakening of the Kundalini. Then automatically grace happens to you, because the water that has evaporated from the surface of the rivers, ponds and oceans because of intense heat, through the process of condensation, it showers as rainfall. So when you create the sound of who, or you hammer your solar plexus, it is like creating the heat in your system. And with that heat, it begins to evaporate and disappears and showers on you. The other way is the way of Shaktipat. Shaktipat, Shakti means energy, Pat means downpour. This is grace. Or transmission of energy, this is the astral way. It needs a medium. The power supply, the electric energy generating company generates the electricity. It comes to your doorstep through the medium of the wire, high potency, and then it is channeled in your system according to the requirements. When you are meditating in the company of the one who has attained to meditation, the intensity, your meditation deepens, because the energy field of the one who has attained becomes a channel. His presence is enough to create something in you, and it begins to happen. For instance, if you are in the company of a creative person, he may not say anything, he is simply doing his work. Your creative instincts activate first and then gain momentum. infinite energy permeates the entire cosmos. It is just a question of tapping it. Now, in order to protect the buildings from this energy, we take an iron rod, fix on top of the building in a particular way, so that lightning, when it strikes the house, passes through the rod and sinks through the earth, and house remains unharmed. So what does the awakened one does? He channels energy in you in such a way, his presence, not that he is doing, his presence channels the energy into you so that it does not harm. If the energy reaches unrestricted, it can make you mad. That is why there are two terms. In Sufi terminology, it is called mazub, and in yoga terminology, it is called avadhut. The energy is not in their control. They are so overwhelmed that they start pouring the tea from the pot, not knowing your capacity. They continue to pour into the cup without knowing the capacity of the cup, and it starts overflowing. One of our great ancestral Naqshbandi Sheikh told that once he happened to be in a particular place and he heard there is a mazub, means he has become so much overwhelmed with the love for the divine that he has no control over it. It is like a naked high voltage wires. It has the capacity to benefit you, but because it is naked, it is more likely to harm you. So it is said that if a stone is placed in front of his eyes when it is opened, the stone will shatter into pieces. This is called Patthar Tod Tavajjo. The high intensity of the energy is transmitted into you. It's like when the X-ray or these kind of devices are being used on you, a certain frequency of the energy is channeled into you in order for its benefit. So it happened that this particular master, Sheikh, went into the thoughts of his master. Nothing could have happened to him. The harm could have not happened. The energy that was unrestricted got grounded. He got grounded in that. So infinite energy permeates the world over and the entire cosmos. It is just a question of tapping it. So lightning can strike the house even in the absence of the rod, but then it will destroy the house. But the rod is a recent discovery. The lightning has been there from times immemorial. The Shaktipat of lightning has been there for long, but we thought of rod only recently. Man is surrounded by infinite energy which can be used for his spiritual growth. Spiritual energy is there And all of it can be utilized for man's spiritual upliftment. To do this, however, a medium, a vehicle is needed. You can be your own medium. When the energy that was dissipated in the sex center, it is released from there, and because after the solar plexus, the next center is the heart center, it easily reaches there. But in order for it to transcend beyond the heart center, you need the energy to pull it upwards. There the question, who am I? As such, as you know, you are the body, you are the mind, you are X, you are Y, you are this, you are that. But that is not your real identity. So when Master creates a device for an individual seeker, there are certain guidelines. When you go to a tailor, different people of different dimensions and size go to a tailor. Tailor does not make a one size fit all garments. He makes it custom garment, takes your measurement, makes your three-piece suit according to your measurement, and that of the other according to his measurement. In the same way, when a seeker comes in, the Master uses a custom-made device. Yesterday, for one of the seeker, I had to give a device which was slightly different. Sit in front, because she was not able to do the who am I. In order to assist this, I asked her to sit in front of the mirror on a chair, keep on looking into the mirror, and then do first gibberish, which is creating meaningless sounds, faces, gestures. The anger from within, the suppressed energy will begin to come out, and when you are looking at your face, it has one session, you can see the tremendous result. And specifically if it is within the energy field of the Master. If you are connected to a particular Master, you are in love with that, then his energy field is not restricted to the physical presence. It surrounds you. You have tapped that energy and it remains within you. You can feel it. You can do one thing. You can mentally say to yourself, Master, I am going to do this. Please guide me. To act as a vehicle for Shaktipat, it is essential that the divine energy has been descendant on the other person. Then only he can plan and manage the Shaktipat according to the capacity of the other. Once your house, somebody is an electrician who sees the naked wire, he will not get the shock because he knows how to tap it, how to be careful in handling that energy. Then only he can plan and manage the Shaktipat according to the capacity, and he is not required to do anything in this regard. His mere presence does everything, all that is needed. Presence is all that is needed. Through his grace, through his sheer power of will, he can awaken the dormant energy in an individual. This is referred to as Shaktipat. For instance, what I did, I remained in my studio on my desk. The person is sitting in front of the mirror with the back facing me. So I can look at the movements in the face. So it begins with, I hate you, I don't like you, you have done this. And then when that rusty energy is released, then the person, according to an individual, cries, I love you, I don't hate you anymore. And things like that happens naturally, but again it differs from person to person, but there are certain basics. Shaktipat can be transmitted with the use of a sacred word, a look, a touch on the anywhere in the body, because touching means when you take the electric wire and you want to test a battery, you connect one pole, one wire to the positive, other to the negative. When the two are connected, the bulb in the circuit lights, and this confirms that the battery is in order. Then there is a self-awakening. It happens very rarely. Sometimes the seeker's Kundalini has awakened on its own. Actually, this is a result of the progress made by the seeker in the previous lives. It starts from the point where he has left in the previous life. This is someone claims that he can do anything. He is utterly wrong. No one can do Shaktipat, but someone's presence can act as a catalyst, can catalyze it and make it happen. Now I think when the seeker attains a certain depth in meditation, it begins to happen around the awakened one with full force. There is no difficulty about it. Nobody needs to do anything. It will happen on its own. You will suddenly find quite a different kind of energy has entered you from outside. It does not come from within you. Whenever you will experience the rise of Kundalini, it will seem to be rising within you. Kundalini rises within you. There is something searching within you. But Shaktipat will appear to be coming from outside, from above. It is like grace. You raise your hands for grace, and then this is downpour. It will appear to be coming from outside, from above. It will be so. It will be left as clearly as one feels water falling on him from above, water rising above him from below. The experience of Kundalini is like drowning, as if you are standing in the bed of the river. The level of the water is rising from below, and you are being drowned in it. The experience of Kundalini is always like this. One of getting drowned in the river. You will feel something from the depth is rising, and you are being engulfed in it, drowned in it. But the experience of Shaktipat is totally different. It is like rain falling from the skies. The cloud has gathered, and from above something is falling. That's why Kabir says to his monks, nectar is raining, and monks want to know where is the nectar raining. It is a mystical way of saying things. The event of rain falling and river being in flood are taking place simultaneously. You are being drowned and being destroyed from both ends. Both processes happen together. There is no difficulty in it. Someone asked, can Kundalini effect can be short-lived or the effect is long? Really, Shaktipat is a help. The fact is that the lasting effect arises from your own Kundalini. Shaktipat can never be your base. It is like rain falling on you. Over this you have no control. What happens within you is more important. It is basic, it is fundamental, it is your real wealth, and alone is your basic wealth. Whereas when rain falls, it falls on everyone. Shaktipat will not help you, will not add anything to your existing wealth, but it will certainly step up the capacity to grow. This difference should be properly understood. With Shaktipat, your wealth will not multiply, your inner strength. But what is called its growth rate, its rate of expansion, undoubtedly will be intensified because of Shaktipat. So Shaktipat is not your own riches. It is like this: you are running and I am after you with a gun in my hands. Now my gun is not going to add to your power of running, but surely it will make you run faster, because you have a fear that a man behind you is coming with a gun and you will run faster. It is you who will run in the event. It is your energy that is going to be spent in running. But because of the gun, you will bring into use even more energy, and that was lying unused into you up to now. The gun does not provide you any extra energy. It simply helps you to use unused energy. Every iota of energy that is in you. If you examine the gun later, you will find the gun is same as before. It has lost nothing, but the impact of gun will make you run faster. The intensity and speed of your running will be altered. Where you were walking leisurely before, you will now run fast. Such is the nature of Shaktipat. So Shaktipat will not add to your wealth. It will undoubtedly step up the capacity to grow and expand. It is like flash of lightning. A flash of lightning does not light your path. It does not serve you as the lamp does in your hand, as the torchlight in your hand does. It only gives you a flash, a glimpse of the road ahead and its surroundings. But this single glimpse is very precious. Now your feet are firm. Now your will is strong. Now your resolve to reach your destination is hardened. You have seen the road and now you know There is no way that you can wander aimlessly. One flash of lightning and you get the glimpse of the road that you have to pass through, and of the temple which is your journey's final destination, and soon the light will be lost and you are once again engulfed by the darkness. But now you are a different person. Although you are standing on the same spot where you were before, the lightning happened. You have gained confidence. You are now going to go ahead. Now you know road is there, the temple is there. Although invisible, has lost into the darkness. Now you feel assured. Now you have confidence that you are in the right direction. You have trust, which fortifies your will and your resolve. Once you are around an awakened one, such lightning flashes happen. The more you are intensely close to him, this does not require a physical closeness. There are many far away, and some of them I have never met. Yet this downpour of energy happens. And there are those who are close physically, yet nothing happens. It is that the light of the lamp that illumines the surroundings, but at the base there remains darkness. So the effect of Shaktipat is indirect, and therefore you need it time and again. Once is never enough. Certainly a second flash of lightning will benefit you even more, and the third even is still more. But you may have missed the first time, will be seen with the second. What you have missed in the first instance, you will be able to see in the second, and you will be able to see in the third flash. They will at least strengthen your confidence. They will reinforce your will, so you cannot achieve the ultimate goal through Shaktipat. It is you who has to walk your way to destiny. You can reach even without Shaktipat, but then it will take a longer time. With Shaktipat it becomes faster. You will reach late because there is no flash of Shaktipat, and you will be less confident, and you will need more courage and strength. Doubt and fear will grip you more and more than in the absence of the flashes. You will not be sure of your path and destiny. All this will happen. Nonetheless, you will reach the goal. But Shaktipat is a great help. I would like you to make some progress on your own. That Shaktipat happens to a large group of persons instead of one or two individuals at a time. Why confine it to one or two individuals? It can happen collectively to 10,000 people standing together. There is no difficulty in it at all. Because it takes time, whether it is done with a single person or with 10,000 people. What happens when the contact with the medium is not maintained or is lost, it affects the effects of Kundalini, the effects of Shaktipat wear off. The effect is bound to decline if the connection is lost. Effect itself means that it has been caused by an outside agency, so it will decline, but the energy rising within you is going to stay with you because it is your own. Energy coming from without is bound to diminish and disappear, but what comes from within you is not going to diminish. It will stay. Also that energy will stay which rises in you because of the impact of Shaktipat. Your basic capital will not wear off, but the effect will. The Shaktipat will impact the energy that is there in you. It will stay. The basic will not wear off, but the impact, the immediate impact, the immediate taste does not stay. Also, if you maintain a bad company, it wears off. There is no way to fall down or go down. This thing really needs to be understood clearly. It is very interesting to know that there is no way to go down or backward. You can be helped to go higher and higher from the place that you have reached. Even your rise from there can be obstructed, but there is no way for you to go down. There is a reason in it. In the course of your ascent, your upward rise, you have changed, you have grown, and not even an inch of growth can be cancelled or reversed. Retreat or regression is not possible in life. It is like this. You can help a child in being promoted from grade 1 to grade 2. A tutor can be hired to help him in this matter, but you cannot find a tutor who can make the child forget what he has already learned in grade 1. But the tutor can help the child to build up on that. The effect of grade 2, it is possible he falls into the capacity of the foolish people when he is in his standard grade 2. He falls in the company of the bad people. He is detained in his grade, can remain there for a long period of time. But it is never possible that because of the foolish friends, he will revert back to the grade 1. Grade 1 he has qualified. In grade 2 he falls in the bad company. He may not qualify it in one instance. He may remain in that, but he will never be reverted to grade 1. It is also impossible that he is kept in grade 2 for all his life. He is never allowed to move to grade 3 but it is impossible to bring him to grade 1. He will be stuck, that is all. And that is what happens when you are in the company of novice. Your energy gets stuck. It cannot go down. In a spiritual life, there is no way to go back. It is always a matter of going forward or getting stuck. And this getting stuck is what you call downfall or regression. But really regression has not happened. The worst that happens in spirituality is stagnation. You may be stagnated at a particular point, but you cannot fall below that. Is there a difference between Shaktipat and grace? There is a difference, and difference is really great. There is a great difference between Shaktipat and grace. Shaktipat is a kind of technique that can be planned and managed. It has to be planned and manipulated. The energy has to be directed to you in a planned way. It cannot be brought about any time and anywhere. Do you understand what I mean? For Shaktipat to happen, it is very necessary that the seeker has to be in the right frame of the mind to receive it. The medium has to be right. And when both conditions are fulfilled, Shaktipat can happen. When both are in synchronicity, synchronized, Shaktipat happens. It is a matter of technique. Grace comes uninvited. It comes in dark. You cannot call for it. You cannot have it on order. Neither can it be planned, manipulated, or managed. It is an event that happens once in a great while. It happens on its own. Therefore, the difference between Shaktipat and the grace is the game as it is between the electricity in your home and lightning that strikes. The electricity that flows into your house is planned, and lightning is not planned. It is like flash, it can happen anytime. You push the button and here the instant light, the bulb lights. But lightning in the sky is quite a different matter. Lightning happens on its own. You cannot have it on order. You cannot, there is no switch that you push it and the lightning will happen. While your home electricity is technologically managed, it is controlled by an instrument, by a technique. We have no control over lightning. Grace is like lightning from the heavens. It happens at some unexpected and rare moments. And if the seeker is in the right receptivity at that moment, grace can happen to him. And then it is certainly not Shaktipat. Although it is elementally the same thing, yet it is grace, very different from Shaktipat. There is another difference, that no medium is needed for grace to happen. For lightning to happen, there is no electrical wire or any arrangement is needed. Grace can dawn on you direct. It does not need a mediator to reach you. Just as the electric current, the bulb to light in you, it needs a medium, the channel through which the electric current passes. There is a terminal. The moment you push the button, the bulb lights. That same current flows through the electric socket where the bulb is, and to the switch which you need to push in an event you want to light the bulb. It will come straight to you. Grace is always sudden happening. It is rare. It does not happen often. It cannot be planned and manipulated like Shaktipat. And I can say, if you come next day at a fixed time, after making certain preparations, Shaktipat will happen. But all that is irrelevant in case of grace. It may happen, it may not happen. It is not in your hands. It cannot be managed like Kundalini. That's the difference between the two. Shaktipat is managed. It happens only when you are in an egoless state. Planning can be done in an egoless state. Ego has nothing to do with planning. Egoless planning is absolutely possible. Ego is a different thing altogether. For instance, we plan that with certain necessary preparation, we will sit for Shaktipat tomorrow at 5 in the morning. In this planning, the seeker is not required to be egoless, but the medium must be so. Egolessness is a transient state that now you are egoless and now you are not. If you are egoless, if you are egoless, if you are not egoless, you are not. If I am egoless, I am. If I am not egoless, I am not. It is not that tomorrow at 5 I will be in that egoless state. It is ridiculous. How can it be? There is no way to do so. If I am egoless now, then I will be egoless tomorrow as well. At 5, and I will be so. Irrespective of whether I plan or do not plan, whether you turn up or not, whether I am awake or asleep, at that moment, but I am egoless, I am it. Egolessness is not a matter of degrees like body temperature. Although we are used to thinking everything in terms of degrees, all our thinking is like this. If somebody's body temperature is 98 degrees Fahrenheit, we say he is okay. If temperature rises above 98.9 degrees, it is said that he has fever. He is running temperature. 98 degrees is also fever, but it is called normal fever. 99 degrees becomes abnormal. A slight deviation from the normal causes problem. Ordinarily, it is the same with ego. Ego is your fever. If somebody has ego in the same measure as all others have it, we say he is a modest person. He is a good man. A slight deviation from normal 98 degrees, if he touches the 99th degree of ego, it is said that he is egoistic. He is arrogant. And in case somebody comes down to 97 degrees, we say absolutely humble person. Ego or no ego makes no difference altogether. They are different states as such. They are not concerned with degrees, with quantities. They are not like states of fever or non-fever. They are not to be measured as 98 or 99 degrees. In fact, only in regard to a dead man, we can say that he has no fever. As long as there is body, there is heat, whether normal or abnormal. It is the fever with the difference that 98 degrees is normal and 99 degrees is abnormal. And the abnormal heat causes physical trouble. We experience disease because of it. Then there is another angle of ego. If someone's ego hurts our ego, which normally happens, we think him to be egoistic. And if somebody else's ego comforts our ego, flatters or placates our ego, we say the man is egoless. But what is the measure? What is the criteria of it? If a person comes to me in an arrogant manner, wanting to make his presence felt on me, we call him as an egoist. And if the same person comes and touches my feet, we will say he is so humble, so good. What criteria is there to test him? We have only one test for ego. To us, everyone has ego in him. To us, ego is that which disturbs our own ego. If someone hurts our ego, he is egoist. If he placates our ego, he is a humble man. But it is always our ego which serves as the measure. It is our own ego which we judge. We use to judge if the other is egoist or not. That is why we fail to know the real state of non-ego. How can you know it? We know how to measure ego in degrees, whether it is more or less. But where the degrees are absent altogether, we find ourselves in great difficulty to know that no ego. But in the matter of Shaktipat, the medium must be egoless. Egoless is not the right word for it. I will have to say that only a no ego should be the medium. And bear in mind that such a person who is no ego, the innocent, will be able to receive the grace that grace is showering on him 24 hours of the day, he will manage it so that you can have a taste of it. So when someone comes in the company of an awakened one, out of compassion, he points out to a particular discipline. He designs, he cuts, make a cut in the cloth according to the measurement, makes the device altered to suit that person. It is the grace. He will manage it. But as far as he is concerned, the nectar of grace rains on him 24/7. But you are open for a moment or two. A few drops of nectar can then enter in you through that opening. Direct grace is only received on ultimate attainment and not before. Grace always surrounds the awakened one, and it overflows as compassion. In fact, he dwells in the ocean of grace, and he will like it to share with one who is ready. Once you are open, you are ready. That is why Sufis say, the master appears the moment disciple is ready. It is only when your ego disappears that grace descends on you. Ego is the only hurdle in the way of attainment. And attainment is the ultimate state after which nothing more remains to be attained. I will take one more session to summarize the Kundalini and its various effects, various aspects, before I move to the next series. But in the meantime, there are certain questions from seekers which needs to be addressed through this streaming. One is about the lataifs, the 9 points of the heart center, according to the Sufi technique. Like that, when someone posts a question on a post on Facebook, this is not the way for your question, your query to reach to me. It should be directly addressed. We are living in an age of technology where you can use the messenger or the WhatsApp. When the question comes in, I look into it, save it in the folder where I have the questions to respond. That's why when I was looking into, I thought, and I was rushing to finish it, but I noticed that there are still certain questions in this regard which needs to be responded. So I decided to have one more session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.